Sami sir. Welcoming our respected Dean Academics Dr. S.R. Madan Shankar sir. A warm welcome to our today's chief guest Dr. M. Selvakumar sir, Assistant Professor, Selection Grade, Department of Chemistry, MIT, Manipal University, Manipal, Karnataka. Welcoming our respected HOD ma'am Dr. V. Sangeeta and our faculties of our department. Last but not least, I welcoming our students for this excellent event. Once again, I welcoming you all. Now, I request our beloved Professor Dr. E. Jayanti Ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Konganadu Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, to give an introduction about our chief guest. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Mr. Tirupati. Today we have Dr. M. Selvakumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, MIT, Manipal University, Manipal, Karnataka with us. My hearty thanks on behalf of Management and Department of Chemistry to Dr. M. Selvakumar, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Manipal University, for accepting our invitation to give your career guidance speech among us. Our chief guest is an eminent person who has done his bachelor's in Bishop Heber College in the year 1998, his master's in chemistry in the National College of Trichy, and his MPhil in Bharathidasan University, and during his MPhil, he got distinction. He has done his doctoral research in National Institute of Technology, Karnataka, in the title Biodegradation, Electrochemical and Solution Properties of Some Polymers. His field of research encompasses chemical and electrochemical synthesis of polymers for supercapacitors, preparation of eco-friendly composites for packaging, synthesis of nanometal oxides for supercapacitance application, preparation of new polymer blends which are biodegradable. He was awarded with many awards, and he was awarded with a Junior Research Fellowship twice from the year 2005 to 2008. He has many awards in his city. He was given Best Oral Presenter in the international conference held at Trivandrum in the year 2008 for nano zinc oxide as supercapacitors. Best Researcher Award for Manipal University was given to him for the publication of many research papers in a particular year. He was a principal investigator in a DRDO project for the development of supercapacitors based on biodegradable polymer electrolytes at the tune of rupees 17 lakhs. He has guided and guiding 7 research students, and he has guided more than 25 MSc students for their project. He has published 2 books with ISBN number, and he has more than 15 years of teaching experience and published more than 50 papers in reputed scientific standard citation indexed journals. He is a proud owner of a patent related to supercapacitor. He has experience in handling more than 10 sophisticated instruments. We have such an eminent person with us. Hope all the students get benefited from his enlightening guidance. Now I welcome Dr. M. Selvakumar to present his speech. The session is yours, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, madam, for your nice introductions. Yeah, I'm opening my slides. Is it open? Is it visible to all the students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. Okay. Thanks for your wonderful introduction, madam. In fact, that resume is completed. Year after I have 18 years service. What I'm going to do, that only it's going to build my careers. Okay, don't worry about that resume and all. It's nothing else for the present scenario. So we'll continue. Today, what I'm going to talk, in fact, yesterday when Jayanti madam called, you got to give the talks. So then immediately I thought that as a BSc third year students, okay, we can give for some career guidelines for the higher studies. It might be helpful for the students. Whether it may be in in the mode of competitive exam or in the mode of go for the postgraduate in good institute, or if you want after graduate MSc chemistry, if you want to pursue for very good doctorate degrees, or thereafter postdoctoral fellowship, how the job opportunities it will be there. That if I am guide, of course, in the in between, I will discuss fundamentals in the chemistry also, because without talking the fundamentals knowledge in the chemistry, the lecture it may not be fulfilled. So I have given how you have to face the interview for after postgraduate or after undergraduate, after your doctorate degree. Everything I have covered, almost I tried to cover. Might be some of them may be missed. Don't worry about it. You can call any times and we can discuss. So higher studies and employment opportunity for chemistry students, undergraduate students, guidelines for undergraduate. It's not only for the chemistry students, right? Any undergraduate students, particularly we are discussing, very hot discussion is going on national education policy for 2019, whether it is required for Tamil Nadu or any implementation it's required. We can even national education policy also slightly I am going to touch. Everything wherever I'm going to touch, only I'm going to talk a positive approach. Any throughout the slides, nowhere else I'm not going to thought in the negative aspects. Okay, that is a clear cut idea for about the talks. Like we will try to observe throughout the surrounding positive approach. That's what my view. Okay, we'll continue for the first slides. Value of the primary educations. Primary teachers are role model for the kids, right? Now you came to BSc third year. BSc third year that you are studying for the chemistry. You are a role model. Definitely, any one of the teachers will be there from first standard to third standard. Definitely, any one of the teachers may be attracted you. That's why you might be interested to take a chemistry, right? If I am not wrong, when I'm studying my higher secondary course, my class teacher is very good in chemistry. Rajamanikam sir and Rexmanan sir in Busy People Higher Secondary School, they used to talk very nicely and systematically, very disciplined teachers. So they thought that the fundamental in chemistry, that it has helpful to build my career in the chemistry. Because if you come to BSc chemistry or MSc chemistry, the teacher, they are going to talk the specializations in your subject. Remember that they won't going to talk either max. They are going. You might be. We know that any of the derivation they may tell. We know that so on some derivations it may comes like that. They may going to derive that. So that means the primary teachers, it's very big important role in your life, right? It's not in your life all the in the today builders today, so whoever it is there in a higher post, any one teacher they may be interact with them. Of course, one teacher they will change your entire life, isn't it? Right? Definitely. I'll tell you one best example. Of course, my son, after the 33 age only I married. So 38 age, my son born. So immediately after 2 years, okay, we can go for directly for the nursery school. But the first year for the nursery school, you can't able to hold the pencil itself. That is a problem. Then everyone scolded my friends and my neighbors, why you are, because of your age problem, why you are burdening your child, like that they scolded. So we repeated for one more year nursery, and he got a very good teacher. Now he has able to talk Kannada very fluently, and he is able to talk English very fluently. So that teacher, it is very important. So like that, in your 12 years of studies, either UKG, LKG, or nursery, any one good teacher, if you got it, right, your life, it will be changed. And in this education, how it's going to helpful, right? In fact, Tirukural, you might be knew that. right? I'll tell you in Tamil one simple understanding, right? This educations, it will try to reduce your anger, right? And you can try to collaborate with others, you can try to merge with many peoples, right? Definitely competitions will be there. Your friends are competitor for your educations, or your friends are competitor for your job. It will be there only, nothing can do. But what you are going to study, either say I put human science, history, geography, political science, literature, fine arts, religion, all are very important. The role of humanities science, what is that? To bring a good leadership, or to bring a good motto in your life. That's why we are studying that. So max, suppose tomorrow you might be good in investment, max is required, right? So your principal interest, compound interest, or geometry, everything you might be studied 10th standard, it won't be there for 11th and 12th standard. But after you are completing education, how you are going to investment, and how you are going to build your career, mathematics is one of the important. So we are going to talk in the chemistry, what are the future opportunities, and botany and geology. Your body is a good biological system. There are thousand kind of enzymes. So everything, it's very important. These educations value got it. History, you can take that. History means, history are very, very beautiful subject. Remember that. Because history only, it is helpful to build your career properly. Suppose you got to read the proper history. It is not this government changing the aspect, that government, that you no need to talk, right? You have to read the proper history. And the geography, tomorrow after you are completing your PhD, or after your undergraduate, you are going to prepare, you are going to study your postgraduate in your higher studies in abroad universities. What is going to happen? So you might be familiar with the Google map, how you can going to reach a place. No one going to guide, right? Either if you go for the airports, you got the map will be there, you got to see the map, and you got to try to find it. So I will give one nice example for the importance for going abroad when I'm coming to the PhD. Political science, it's very, very important. You must know the politics, what is happening in and around. Then only no politicians will cheat you. So everything, it's been very, very important. These things who has teach you? Your primary school teachers, not your undergraduate teachers, or not your postgraduate teachers. But this role should comes, okay, students are interested in physical science or biological science. We have to give the freedom for to take any one of the subject, but that it won't be happen. That's why government now they are trying to bring a national education policies. They are trying to modify in higher educations. If they are modify means they have to modify the school education. If they want to modify the school education, they have to do a primary educations. There is no scope, so they are trying to implement that. But this four different subject, no, where it's going to lack the knowledge means it comes to the public exam, right? We have to get the good marks in public, then only we may get the first group subjects. It's not a matter for either third group or fourth group, you may not going to get a survey. There are also plenty of opportunities. And if you come to higher secondary courses, many of them they used to take a 12th standard syllabus only. That's why government implemented 11th standard also public exam. So what happened? These studies are very, very important. These only it's going to build in your careers if you go for higher educations. So that's why I told you value of primary education, how it is very, very important. Okay. So now you can came to know that. Please, you can remember. And if you have any questions in chat, you can type it. Later, once my talk is over, I'll try to address each of your questions. And now you can please be remember, you can bring in your mind who is your best teacher for your school time. It might be helpful. The talk, it might be interesting hereafter. How it might be going to helpful, you can see that in the end of talk. Okay. So next slide. Okay. Either it may be go for undergraduate course or postgraduate course, or you can complete the postdoc or PhD, whatever it may be. The final target is job. And many of the peoples, they may not complete, but complete the undergraduate course, they may be good in business. But you can go and ask those people, if I am study properly, still I may be very good in my business, they may tell. So educations are more important, right? You can ask any one of the business entrepreneur, those who are not study, they may tell these sentences. If I am study, I may be in very structured aspect. Physical orientations might be good. So if your college is start, this is the time first test, this is the time for second test, and end some exam, this is the date. So over, it will be very systematically. Morning means inorganic chemistry. Like that, you may be very systematic procedures. It will follow your entire career in your life. That's why educations are more important. Of course, the final target, it may be undergraduate course or postgraduate course. What we require, we need a job and we have to get a good money, good salary in a day, in a month, right? Some, of course, today means at least 50,000, 60,000 means he might be comfortable for a single man salary, right? To run a one small family. Suppose if you want to run a big family means at least 1 lakh is required, because 30,000 you might be spending in your day life itself. So you go to saving for your, okay, that is later, we are not interested to discuss. So once money comes means you may get a status in society. Okay, after status in society, definitely marriage. So everyone interested to marriage a very beautiful girl, particularly white skin girl. That is quite natural. Nothing wrong in that, right? So we want to get settled in a very good family life. So you see that now you are being in a job, you come to the family life, again you're going to become a parents. The same thing is going to be in rotation cyclic process, right? What you did your parents, the same thing you are going to do, right? Then you have to think, this is what my parent I did, what I'm going to do as educator, right? See, I'll tell you, what you can buy a very big car in your life, but it may not be satisfied. Or you can buy a very good bullets, or you can buy a very good, you can construct a very good big house, but it may not be satisfied throughout your life. I tell you, because materials might be interested for 1 day, 1 month, or maximum 1 year. But what you are studying, the feeling of study, you know, that it comes throughout your life. That's why our Tamil used to tell, 7 பிறவியும் உங்களோட கல்வி உங்களுக்கு தொடர்ந்து வரும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. அந்த சென்டென்சஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப வேல்யூ. அதை நீங்க எப்படி இது பண்றீங்கன்னு சொல்ல. அதே மாதிரி இன்னொன்னு, திருக்குறள்ல ஒரு கல்வி அதிகாரத்துல திருவள்ளுவர் என்ன சொல்லியிருப்பாங்கன்னா, கல்வி கற்று மனத்தில் கோபம் வன்மம் இல்லாமல் வாழ்பவனைய அதம் வந்து அவனோட வழியில நுழைந்து அவனோட வெற்றிக்காக காத்திருக்கு. மேபி ஒரு விக்டரி, மேபி now you may be defeated in your competitions, but when you are going to win, you are the superior in your field. Of course, you may not be superior, you may be superior for some time, again you have to come down only. You please be remember that what I'm going to tell. So that angry and one moment should be reduced based on your what you are going to study. It might be a literature, it might be a history, or it might be a geography, or it may be a science, whatever it may be. So I used to tell, in my 8th standard, one of my teacher, George, he just bring ஆட்டோட இதயத்தை வந்து அப்படியே, அவங்க ஒரு பையன் வந்து முஸ்லீம்கார பையன், அவங்க ஆட்டு இறைச்சி கடை வச்சிருந்தாங்க. அவங்கள்ட்ட போய் அந்த ஆட்டோட இறைச்சியை கட் பண்ணி உடனே கொண்டு வந்து எங்கிட்ட காமிச்சாங்க, எப்படி ஆர்ட் தான் ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆகுது. எனக்கு வந்து இன்னமும் அந்த ஞாபகம் இருக்கு. ஸோ த வே ஆஃப் டீச்சிங் and way of studying, suppose if you study one good books, right, that it will carry for your entire life. You may be matured persons. Okay, we'll continue that. So how many of you interested to go for postgraduate and doctorate studies? If you see in your class, of course 36 students are there in our webinar. Okay, might be 36 means, okay, we can keep it for some 20, because nowadays BSc it's equal to SSLC, many of them they are completing. So you got to go for postgraduate studies, or after postgraduate studies also you have the, still you want to settle good in your life, so you got to go for doctorate or postdoctoral fellow. So whatever it may be. So if you think in your study 36 or 40 class, 40 students are there in your class, means maybe 25 students, maybe the present scenario might be go for higher studies. I'll tell you, when I'm doing my BSc 95 to 98, one of my teacher in physical chemistry was very good. He used to talk thermodynamics very nicely. Now also I can tell what is thermodynamics first law, second law, and third law, because you used to give a very good, interesting examples. So energy neither creator or non-rester, all thermodynamics spontaneous process are irreversible. So அதுக்கு example கொடுப்பார் நல்லா he can explain like anything in the thermodynamics. But unfortunately, the end of the thermodynamic class, he used to suggest the entire batch, please go for doing management courses, MCA and MBA, because that time if you ask any of your teachers, they may tell you you can go for study for MCA and MBA, because the reason is that time the basic pay of the teacher is 8,300. It may not be sufficient. Even though he is good teacher, we are surprised to see what this fellow, he is talking like a yeah, God in thermodynamics, but he is telling go and study for management courses. And some of the teacher you used to tell some of my friends, they may not be serious or sincere, and they may used to scold directly, you are unfit for the chemistry. I'll tell you frankly, everyone fitted in the society. Don't be a inferiority complex. If you try to understand, just read one paragraphs. If you try to understand what it is, that's all fine. You try to understand that. You read one times, two times, 10 times, or 100 times up to understanding. Of course, even 100 times also, sometimes you can't maybe understand that. That is quite natural. You can ask your any of the teachers, when they are keep on taking the same subject continuously, only in the end of the 3 years, 4 years, they might be understand some of the concept. It is quite natural for all the people. Okay, so final aim, sir, I don't for why, sir, again I got to study. Many of the people may not be family background, it may not be good, so they have to go for job on. So what is the other opportunities? You see that skilled work, right? Always our opportunities will be there in skilled work, right? Either fitter, welder, electricians. That's why as per the national education policy, at least you can do one skilled study from 6th standard onwards, right? It will be good. See, when I'm doing my BSc studies, I went and ran Tayyar in Vanach Tayyarpalli in Puttur Bishop College. I went and ran Tayyar. Of course, I forgot now, but I know that how to manage it, right? So skilled work, always you may get a good job. Next one is competitive exam, software and hardware. You see that many of the mobile phones is coming, but it is limited. But soft hardware means it's limited because every time you go to update. See, when 95 to 98, you might be seeing public call telephone offering that missing now, it's ruled out. So you have to update in all the field, even software also. Of course, higher studies and its related opportunities. That's what today entire lecture I am going to discuss. Okay. So skilled work, you may get a good job opportunities after your undergraduate studies, or you can prepare the competitive exam, or you can go for BCA, MBA, whatever it may be. Or in the undergraduate itself, what are the higher studies and its related opportunities we are going to discuss now. Okay, competitive exam directly comes to after undergraduate. So once I completed my MSc 2000, I used to prepare for UPSC exam for 1 year, 2000 to 2001. If you see my resume, it might be blank because that time I used to prepare all the competitive exam. I later I feel that I may not be good to clear the competitive exam. Then I started my career on an industry process chemist. Then thereafter I went to MPhil and PhD. Then I continue my studies. So you have to feel, you have to take the decisions. Please be remember, some of you, some of my friends, still they want to create TNP exam. My age is 43, right? Maybe they are in 36 and 38 years old. Still they want, I want to go for only government job. They are thinking that. It won't be. Within 1 year, you can came to know that whether it is possible to clear for competitive exam or not. It is not that much easy because I'll tell you, I have written in the slide, please see that. You need a strong literature survey, either Tamil, English, Maths, Science, Social Science, from 6th to 12th standard, what it is. You got to study fully, thoroughly, you got to study. And you must be good in strong in mathematics for clearing the numerical ability. Particularly, suppose you are going to group 2 or group 1 exam in TNPC or UPSC exam, you must, other than your core subject, suppose you are doing chemistry, means you must know very good familiar in either economics or history, or based on your interest, you must be good in your subjects. Then only it's possible to clear. It is not so easy, right? You got to put a hard effort, and of course if you did within 1 year, you can came to know that okay, I can able to clear. It can take time, another 1 or 2 years. Definitely it's possible to clear. And next one is IBPS, banking sector. So one of my friend, KK Ramu, I remember, he was very good in mathematics and very good in English grammar, right? But unfortunately, when we prepared that many banking sector exam, it won't come. Even RRB, it won't come. He couldn't able to clear. That's what the fate, what it is written from the God. He is very good. He is doing business now. But to clear this exam, you must able to work out Dr. R.S. Agarwal numerical ability from 6 to 10 under 6 to 10 standard max. Everything you can try to work out. And it would be in English grammar, Dan and Martin book, you can try to read. And your reasoning ability. See, reasoning ability, how it's going to build? When you are mingling with others, when you are in free mind, right? When you are thinking your competitor as your friend, he is also due to society problem only, he is a competitor, otherwise he is my good friend. That ability, the mentor says, when it's going to reduce, that time your reasoning ability, it will be improved. Otherwise, if you feel that others are competitive, we can't able to win, forgot, go for some other job. And computer knowledge also required, and general knowledge and general awareness, you got to update it. The same thing you got to follow for RRB, Railway Recruitment Board, and Staff Selection Commissions. Okay, sir, I may not be good in competitive exam. Sir, I am going to study for B.Ed exam. Well and good. I told you the importance of primary school educations. So up to 6 to 10 standard, once the BSc completed, if you complete the B.Ed, you can go and teach. But remember that now also they bring the competitive exam, Tamil Nadu teacher eligibility test. But that it can be possible to get a scorecard. How it can be? You can once completed the B.Ed, you go on taught 6 to 10 standard, some 2 to 3 years. You may be very good in the subjects. Thereafter, you can appear for the test, Tamil Nadu teacher eligibility test. Definitely, you may get a scorecard. So, chance to bright to become a government employee. This is for after undergraduate course. I am audible or are they following? I am audible?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
can I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, and that is undergraduate program is completed. Now, I want to go for the postgraduate studies in chemistry. Why normally if you come for the postgraduate studies, I tell you one best example. I used to travel for Mangalore to Tiruchi always by train. One time I travel in sleeper class. One of my parents told to the neighbors, my son is studied biochemistry, MSc biochemistry, but he's not getting the job anywhere in Tamil Nadu. At least if you studied some BCom course, I help him to join some office clerical post. That also it's not possible. He studied in biochemistry. So that's why selecting the course very important, because if you study the MSc biochemistry, you must go for doctorate degree. Others, you forgot your biochemistry, go and do the clerical job if you are good in that. So pursues careers in research. That is very important. Postgraduate degree means nowadays the eligibility for any undergraduate programs, you must be able to clear the CSR national eligibility test, or you must be able to complete the PhD with the coursework. Otherwise, you can't. So you got to go for PhD only. Of course, again, postgraduate teaching assistant is possible. 11th and 12th standard, If you complete the B.Ed and again if you clear the Tamil Nadu eligibility test, you become a teacher. And a laboratory work, particularly for the chemistry. If you are good in fundamental, now we are going to discuss year after subject wise. Each and every chemist, how we can face the interview. Either quality control, analytical chemistry, instrumental operator, scanning electron microscope, or XRD might be studied, X-ray diffractions method. You might be a good in operate means you might be act as a technical assistants. Or if you complete the MSc and PhD, if you join, you might be act as a technical officers. R&D chemist. If you are good in organic reaction mechanisms, you must join as R&D chemist, process development chemist. So we are going to discuss what you mean by process development chemist. One example I am going to give. Of course, medicines, many of the drugs, right, based on your organic reactions mechanism only. So plenty of job opportunities. Even that biochemistry students, if you think any one of them, he can be fit. At least he can go for the instrumental operator or quality control. But the problem is biochemistry means some limitations will come. That is a problem. But it can be possible. You can try to get a job. And again, competitive exam, all the competitive exam. Once you completed the postgraduate, now you enter the TNPSC Group 1, Group 2, and UPSC exam. You may be very good to clear the exam compared to undergraduate course. Remember that always postgraduate students will clear very easily. Your MSc chemistry will be treated equally to be any of the engineering branches. If you go for any industries, they may treat like that only. MSc chemistry means is equivalent to the electrical engineering or chemical engineering. So if you complete the PhD, they may treat as a MTech students. So again, all the job opportunities will be for if you complete the postgraduate studies. Okay. Okay, sir. What are the branches of chemistry? Can you? I told you one example, biochemistry. What is the problem it has created? Instead of taking any special, if you are good in that organic chemistry or organic reaction mechanisms, go and take organic chemistry. Definitely, you may get a good opportunities. If you are good in clinical trials, you are going to test the blood, what it contains, or if you are good in any GCHPLC runner, go and take a biochemistry, no problem. Analytical chemistry, if you are good in doing titrations or gravimetric analysis, take analytical chemistry. And electrochemistry and textile chemistry, if you ask Saminathan, he might be bleach, what is the importance for the electrochemistry and textile chemistry. And industrial chemistry, it comes to process development chemistry. Now, each and every branches, how we are going to face the interview, what are the fundamental questions they are going to ask in the interview, that we are going to discuss. I'll tell you one example. I want to note on one of the example here. One of my friend, Raghu, is associate professor in Bell Tech University in Chennai. His branch is MSc Textile Chemistry, but he joined as a project fellow in Central Electrochemical Research Institute, Sikri Kalakudi. Now, totally he has changed from textile chemistry to electrochemistry. He used to get a project fund nearly 1 crore in a year, and he has to develop many batteries, and even we are working on supercapacitor for commercializations, and he has many products in hand. He is the CEO for M Group. Remember that MSc has taken the textile chemistry, but he worked for nearly 5 years and he did the PhD in Central Electrochemical Research Institute. That entire career it has changed. Working in textile chemistry, it is not so easy. You go for E-Road and every textile industries outside, they may put this much amount of the liters we are going to use. And this much amount of the liter end of the process we are going to spoil, mixed with the sewage. And very high organic acids will be there. It is not a C, but is guided nearly 8 to 10 PhD, another 8 PhD is guiding. So it is possible if you understand the subject very well. Anything it is possible. Okay. So how fundamental knowledge in chemistry will helpful in industry to face the industry, to face the interview. So I come to the industrial chemistry, process development chemistry. So after completing your BSc, many of the industry may come I want to some process development chemistry. They may ask, what do you mean by Boyd's law and what do you mean by Charles' law? What it is? Boyd's showed volume of the sample of the gas is inversely proportional to its pressure. Charles told gas is directly proportional to temperature. These two laws, when we studied nearly 11th or 12th standard, right? We may not, we may not come to BSc, might be first year might be studied. Thereafter, MSc or through nowhere else we may not going to study. But this law is very, very important. How it can be? I'll tell you one example. See, this is a fractionating distillation column. You might be do a distillations in your any of the single stage organic reactions in your third year BSc chemistry. You might be do in your lab. That time your teacher might be connected the reflect condensers. Like that one condenser, you can imagine that. Now, when the process is continuing, suddenly the pressure of the distillating column is increases, or temperature without uncontrolling it is increases. I want to continue the process. How I am going to continue? Can you just read it? Volume of the sample of gas is inversely proportional to its pressure. That means if you feed the reactants, the pressure is going to drop, right? You can maintain the process continuously. And the volume of the gas is directly, suppose temperature is directly increasing like anything, you can try to reduce that. You can bring down the temperature. So this, when I ran means after my MSc, I joined as a process development chemistry in Tiruchi Distillery Chemicals. I was surprised to see this distillating column. Imagine that from ground floor to fourth floor will be there. The pressure may be built in the fourth floor column. I got to run like anything. They may tell, go and open this wall. I don't know anything else that time, frankly. I just open and come back. And because supervisor won't tell, they may be busy in the for them schedule. Finally, in the end of some 3 to 4 months, one senior supervisor asked that, why you opened that wall? Sir, I don't know, sir, frankly. What is happening, I don't know. I told honestly. Then he has taught what you studied that by Charles only. It is very, very important. Any one of you, can you remember that? Right? No one we are going to. That's right. If you are studying in your school studies also, immediately if you did one practical aspect, it might be interesting instead of huge syllabus. But the problem is that we can't be, because everyone studies means we can't able, so much competitions will be there. So they have to, okay, that we, I'm not interested to talk. I'll continue as a process development chemistry. Okay, next, another interesting example, stream reforming the process development chemistry. Right? உங்க அம்மா தான் உங்க அக்காவோ சாம்பிராணி போடுவாங்க வீட்டுல. என்ன சாம்பிராணி போடுறப்ப என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா, அந்த இதை ஊதிக்கிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. அப்பதான் அந்த கறி இதை நெருப்பு வந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும் இல்லையா? ஊதுறத நிறுத்திட்டாங்கன்னா என்ன ஆயிடும், அந்த மாய்ச்சல் பட்டு 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 அது குறைஞ்சு போயிடும். இந்த ஒரு கான்செப்ட், it is helpful to maintaining to your reaction temperature in reactor or the industries. Can you believe that? See, this reaction temperature, what I put 900 to 1000 degrees Celsius. I am supplying the steam as well as air supply. Suppose my temperature of the process, it is rise to 1010. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass the steam, moisture. Steam is nothing but moisture. So reduce and bring to maintain the 1000 degrees Celsius. Suppose my reaction temperature, it's fall down less than 900. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pass the air. Again, it will come to 1000 degrees Celsius. It is quite interesting, no? Right? Throughout studies, we may not remember that. We can't recall it. This also I have learned from that process development chemistry only. Like that simple aspect only in your industries, they may ask you. Suppose after completing undergraduate, remember that now they are in government plan to implement the EA Act. I don't know how much safety they are going to continue in the process development process development in the industries. That is questionable. I'm not interested to talk those chilly things. I'll continue as a chemistry aspect also. Okay. Okay. Now, as a BSc, I have completed. Now I'm going for analytical QC job. What they are going to ask? When you are doing in your lab, did you see in your any of the reactant bottles, whether they put a LL or AR or O or laboratory reagent, analytical reagent, organic reagent, based on the purities, they may be divided into laboratory reagent, analytical reagent, organic reagents, and preparations of the solutions. How you are going to prepare the one normal solutions? How you are going to prepare the morality? That is 1 liter of the solution and kilogram of the solvent. Parts per million means what do you mean by that? 1 milligram in 1000 ml. Percentage of solutions, how you are going to prepare, and difference between primary and secondary standard. Suppose you are going to operate the sophisticated instrument, all the instrument principle they were asked: gas chromatography, HPLC, NMR, and mass. Okay. Suppose you want to face a R&D chemist. I want, after my postgraduate studies, I want to work, I want to be R&D chemist. You might be thorough in organic naming reactions mechanisms. If the given product reactant A and conditions or reagent, if they given, you must be able to convert it to be what it be a product, and rearrangement reactions and a react intermediate. Any of the organic textbook, you can take good organic textbooks. They may start from the react intermediate, free radicals, carbocation, carbanion, and of course your R&D chemist, after synthesizing your drugs, you might be able to analyze your compound. What is the stretching frequency of carbonyl compound, this and that. NMR chemical shift, mass fragmentation. As undergraduate level, it is very difficult, but you might be new that organic naming reactions. I'll tell you one best example. Condisolar reactions you might be studying, or aldar condensation you might be studying. What is the conditions of condisolar reactions and aldar condensation in any one of you study? You may not be. Just go and take your textbook. This condition, if it is there only, you can able to carry out the condisolar reactions or aldar condensation. Those things only they will ask in the interview. Next one is postgraduate PG assistants in chemistry. Again, it comes to, after completing my postgraduate, go and study the BA. No problem, well and good. Again, I am telling primary school teachers are role model. My school teachers are very good. That's why I became a teacher. I am very proud to tell them. Right. So if you are good teachers, if you are able to develop, build the society, well and good, it can create again, after completing BEd, clear the Tamil Nadu teacher eligibility test, and you become a teacher for 11th and 12th classes. And one more important note I want to suggest here: your basic pay of PG school assistant is same like a assistant professor in the college teachers. They are not made a discrepancy in the 6 pay commissions. I don't know 7 pay commissions, but the what you are getting the basic pay for PG school teachers, maybe allowance might be difference, but basic pay is same for assistant professor as well as PG school teacher. Okay. Now I come to importance of higher education. Okay, sir, PG over, UG over. Why I want to study sir higher education, right? What is the requirements of it? I have a very good job opportunities. I have already, my father has so much business. Why I want to study, right? I told you the first itself. In fact, you might be seen one song in MGR song. கடவுளிலே கருணை தன்னை காணலாம், கருணையிலே கடவுளையும் காணலாம் அப்படின்பாரு. அந்த தாட் ஆஃப் மூவி வந்து ஒரு அந்த விசன் இருக்கு இல்லையா, ஒரு நல்லா படிச்சு பார்த்தா சில பேர் தான் சொல்லுவாங்க, இந்த அம்மாவை பார்த்தா சரஸ்வதி தேவி மாதிரி இருக்காங்க, லட்சுமிகரமா இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு. அது என்னைக்கு வரணும்னா, உங்க மைண்டு நீங்க நல்லா படிச்சு உங்க மைண்ட் செட் நல்லா வந்தாதான் அந்த பேஸ்ல ரிஃப்ளெக்ட் வரும். அது இல்லைன்னா வரதுக்கு வாய்ப்பே இல்லை. அதுக்காக நீங்க லிட்ரேச்சர் நல்லா படிக்கணும், இல்ல ஹையர் ஸ்டடீஸ் நல்லா போகணும். புதுசா என்ன இருக்கு, இன்ஃபேக்ட் உங்களுக்கு விஜய் பாடுவார துல்லாத மனம் துள்ளுங்க, இந்த வாழ்க்கையே ஒரு தேடல் தான், அதை தேடி தேடி தேடு மனது துறைகிறது. தேடல் என்பது உள்ளவரை வாழ்வில் ருசி இருக்கும், தேடல் உள்ள உயிருக்கே வாழ்வில் பசி இருக்கும். அதனால நீங்க மேற்கொண்டு என்ன தேட போறீங்க, இது வந்து இன்னையோட முடிய போறது இல்லை. ஆஃப்டர் கம்ப்ளீட்டிங் ஹையர் எஜுகேஷனோட முடிய போறது. த்ரூ அவுட் த லைஃப் நீங்க எதை போய் படிக்க போறீங்க, என்ன ஆக போறீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களோ அதான் உங்களுக்கு கொண்டு வரும். நான் இப்பயும் சொல்றேன், உங்களுக்கு நல்ல ஒரு காஸ்ட்லி காரோ இல்ல ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு பெரிய வீடோ ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு சந்தோஷத்தை கொடுக்காது. ஆனா இந்த ஒரு சந்தோஷங்கிறது இதான். நீங்க வேணா நினைச்சு பாருங்க, 30,000 ரூபாய்க்கு ஒரு மொபைல் வாங்கியிருப்பீங்க. மேபி 2 to 3 monthsல இன்னொரு மொபைல் போடுவோம், ஒரு அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட் போடுவோம். அதை பார்த்தோன்னே நமக்கு ஆசை. அப்ப நீங்க அதெல்லாம் ஃபர்கட் பண்ணணும்னா நீங்க எவ்வளவுக்கு எவ்வளவு படிக்க போறீங்களோ அவ்வளவுக்கு எவ்வளவு உங்களோட வாழ்க்கையை நீங்க மென்மேலும். பிகாஸ் ஒன் மோர் அட்வான்டேஜ், whenever you are going to higher educations, you can meet many people in your life, right? See, I used to tell, I and my friend went to a conference in Stockholm, right? When we are there in airport after completing the conference, we are for boarding for some other countries. That time one old lady came and meet us, 70 years old might be. Where you are coming from? Sir, we are coming from Indian. Due to this conference we came. She immediately asked me, did you went after the conference anywhere else in Stockholm? Yes, madam, we went. She told, because conference is not important. How this word is there, that is called as a vision, right? How this word is there, you have to see that. In fact, Stockholm is one of the beautiful city. We went for a Nobel laureate, where it's going to take place. After the Nobel laureate, where the dinner will be there, all the place we have seen. That lady asked, only one word we have. After you are completing your education, you got to go and see many places, how the peoples are there. You might be, if you are good, definitely you may be meet a good people. If you meet a bad people also, don't worry about it. Due to illness, that time they did. In the some of the days they may be recovered. They knew that they did mistake, but don't worry about it. Definitely, if you are good, you might be see a good people. That lady asked us, did you see any of the other place? She told immediately, because you might be seeing how this world is, because we have only one life. So you can go on higher studies and go and work in some other lab. What type of course, I'm going to discuss those things also. Timing is running. Of course, I tried to complete 11:30 before 11:30. Is it fine, madam? Madam, are you following?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm unmuting and listening to you. So to mute, mute and muted and
Okay,
listen.
fine, madam. Can I continue another
Yeah,
half an hour?
yeah,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Anything else, madam, you want to tell?
No, sir. You please continue, sir. Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, why it is required, right? National education policies. Of course, they got to modify the higher educations. This is already I told you. If they want to modify the higher education, they got to do touch the school educations. If they touch the school educations, they got to modify the primary school education. Then only it can be done. So we need a quality universities. We have to, many of the universities with the good product development, they have to come. And our faculty should be a competitive man, not a competitive man. Energized, engaged, and capable faculty. You see, the faculties, if I see the faculty, that energetic should comes for the student. Oh, he is going to do some work. What is always is busy in the center. Something is talking. That energy should come. And professional educations. Once you completed the educations, you might be an effective leadership. The leadership qualities, your student has to follow you. And of course, year after what they told in national education policy, they kept for autonomous of the institute. Right? They will open every small college also, they can give the degree. No need to depend application, they have scrapped. And in fact, they are going to do a national research foundations for some of the universities. Those universities only concentrate on the research and product development. And some they are going to divide academic oriented also. Of course, when you are doing BS itself, you may get a plenty of job opportunities. When you are doing MS itself, you are getting plenty of job opportunities. Definitely, when you are doing higher studies, you may get still higher job opportunities. Finally, I'll tell you. Okay. Okay. Now, fellowship. So, once you completed the MSc, many of them you reached your age 23, right? So, and many of your parents might be retired from your service. They can't support you because monthly expenditure, suppose outside from home means at least minimum 5,000 it's required if you stay in a hostels. So at least to run your family, at least to manage in the daily day life, because if you join a PhD, you have to do plenty of characterizations. At least you have to get 10,000 per month. So if I get a fellowship only, I can survey. Otherwise, I can't able to go for it because parents are already they spent the money for you up to MSc or MTech, whatever it may be. They are retired in service nowadays. Pensions also almost it is not there. So you have to try to get a fellowship. So again, UGC Junior Research Fellowship, particularly for arts group, they are conducting come national eligibility test. If you clear that, at least you become assistant professor. Without PhD, you have the opportunity to become assistant professor. And the CSR Junior Research Fellowship, nearly we have the 50 CSR labs. And many IITs, NITs are there. If you become a JLF, you can choose a guide based on the profile. Oh, okay, this fellow is good. I'm going to do my PhD. And you can go and talk. He might be, if you're interested, he may get. See, salary they are giving 28,000 per month plus HRA. Can you remember, believe that? 28,000. Now, some cases they are giving 36,000. Of course, now due to ranking purpose, all the deemed university, right, branch wise, they are giving fellowships. Chemistry means, particularly my college, they used to give a 10 fellowship in a year. Maybe fellowship might be lesser, 18,000 first 2 years, and the third year you may get at 24,000. But it's okay. 10,000 it is enough to run your problems. That run your do your PhD, not a problem, right? But eligibilities, you must be a first class postgraduate, and you may be good in fundamentals. At least you got to get a 7 CGPA or 70 percentage is good. And next one more, GATE, joint admission test for MSc and MTech program for NITs and IITs. If you clear the GATE, right, you may join the MSc in IITs and MTech. If you go, you can, please don't be there in Coimbatore or Erode only. Try to visit some other place and meet many peoples. Then only your visions will improve. And of course, IIC admission test is there. Okay. So, but anywhere else, you need a fellowships. If your parents are good, they are going to support well and good. Remember that. I'll tell you one example. My father was retired 2002 as a Tamil teacher in Bishop Higher Secondary School. Thereafter, up to 3 years, I worked as a project fellow in Sikri. That time only I knew Saminathan, right? I'll tell you interesting story about the Saminathan when it comes to postdoc. Right. After that, I got a fellowship in NITK. Then only I joined the PhD. So without fellowship means it's very, very difficult. That time 8,000, but it is manageable that time. So you try to get a fellowship for doing your higher studies. Right. Earlier, if you see the doctorate studies means everything it is based on the manuscript. Right. If you publish a manuscript, 10 paper, SELVAKUMAR is published or Saminathan is published, good, is eligible to give a doctorate studies. But now government given a vision, if you instead of manuscript based, if you did the product, if you develop one product in your doctorate studies, you are the CEO for your product, right? Immediately you can try to commercialize your product, and whatever the monies filed in Indian patents, they may be awarded for 2 to 3 years. If you get a consumers, you can sell your product, huge money will come. Or okay, still I want to learn other techniques. After completing PhD, you can go for doctorate studies. That we are going to discuss later. That time I'll tell you why we want to go for doctorate, postdoctorate studies. I'll tell you later. Right? Yeah. Now you see that. Suppose if you want to do a good PhD, right? This four, it's very, very important. You must be good in fundamental in the maths, chemistry, physics, and biology. Then only you can, because tomorrow your guide will come and tell you, give one manuscript, try to read it. And once you read it, you got to go and discuss with your guide. This manuscript, the scientific manuscript, this is what they have discussed. This is what the workflow is. Definitely. So to understand that, you must be good in fundamental. That's why I'm always telling, please be careful in your fundamentals and try to improve your fundamentals. Now, if it is not, you have time to improve that, right? So normally, all of the, if you go for engineering PhDs, right, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical, chemical, whatever it may be, without these fundamentals, they can't able to do none of the technology. Technology, where it comes from the fundamental of science only, right? If they are not in good in fundamental, they can't able to develop the products. So either it may be engineering stream or a science stream, it may be good in fundamentals. Okay. Trust area of research. Okay, sir, what are the area or the, okay, next 50 years, it is not a problem. This is a requirement. Normally, I'm not interested to tell the problems, right? To tell the problems to students, I'm not there, right? I am always interested to tell opportunities to the students. These are the opportunities are there doing the PhD. So energy, you might be knew that now being a BS6 call it came, right? They want to modify that environmental pollutions. So they come to BS6. After 2030, they told all the call they have to replace from the battery-based electric vehicles. So I'll tell you one example. In my universities, they purchased some two car, battery-based car. I went and asked what is the cost of car. They told 10 lakhs and they give a guarantee for only 5 years battery. The battery cost is 5 lakhs. Okay. After 5 years, you got to discard that battery. Again, you are going to buy. So if you are good in doing it, if you are able to develop the lithium-ion batteries, how much money you are going to get, you can remember that. Right? Water. The quality of the water, it's very, very important. Of course, aquacord and those things, they have some problematic still it is there in the market. And food, agriculture, one of the very trust area, and environmental pollutions. Okay, those things I am not interested to touch. These 5 topics are very, very interesting. Now I plan to discuss what I am doing some research work here. Okay. Basically, I started my career to develop the supercapacitor. That's what I started my project fellow in SICRI 2002 to 2005. As a project fellow, I know that how to synthesize chemicals, conducting polymer. Using that conducting polymers, how I can fabricate the supercapacitor. That I did. Supercapacitor is nothing but it has a very high power density. For a short durations, it may give a very high power. Particularly, you are starting your automobile engines. That times battery will cover. So that battery, after some times, it may be drop the power. That time, if you integrate with the supercapacitor, the some power it may give from the batteries, and the battery life it may comes along. That is advantages. Of course, now it is integrated with many work, right? That's what I started for the supercapacitors. So I know how to synthesize the conducting polymer and how to prepare the electrolytes. You knew that lithium lead acid battery, many of the houses they might be use lead acid batteries in sulfuric acid electrolyte. So madam told, Jayanti madam told when she is introduced, he know that to fabricate the biopolymer electrolytes. So instead of sulfuric acids, we have if you after the completing the lifetime of lead acid battery, you go to discard your batteries. That means that much amount of the sulfuric acid is going to mix with the environment. For that reasons, we have fabricate the biopolymer electrolytes. So DRDO also they sponsor for 17 lakhs. In fact, in that field, I have guided 2 students. So these are the applications for the supercapacitors and different types. I'm not interested to go in depth in that. Right. Next one is fuel cell. You might be see that hydrogen oxygen fuel cell or direct methanol fuel cell, polymer electrolyte membrane fuel cells. What we are doing, we are synthesizing some catalyst. That catalyst, it have ability to liberate the hydrogens in aqueous or non-aqueous medium. So based on the limitations of some catalysts, we can divide either aqueous medium or non-aqueous medium. So that catalyst, it may be suitable for fierce application, again automobile industries. So one of the students doing work in that. And this is a Walmer Tafel mechanism, Walmer Iologically mechanism. When you are coming to the MSc studies, you might be new that now I am not interested to touch this subject here. Okay, of course, Madam Jaini Madam told types of polymer electrolyte. He is good in prepare the different type of, these are all the biodegradable polymer electrolytes. Right? Solid polymer electrolytes. Example, chitosan, cellulose, gelatin, starch, those polymer, it acts as a biodegradable polymer electrolyte. And gel polymer electrolyte. So instead of coconut, some of them they will apply coconut oil. They will, some of them may apply the gel in the hair. Right, that is one type of polymers only. And blend the composite polymer electrolyte. These all the things we are trying to use to fabricate the supercapacitors. And this is multi-layer coating. What do you mean by the multi-layer coating means? I may coat the conducting polymer to the electrode. Suppose, say for example, primary batteries you may be studied, zinc alkali batteries, right? Zinc, it acts as a anode material. In the anode, we will use continuously multi-layer coating of either conducting polymer or carbon nanotubes. So when you are coating the multi-layer coating, the efficiency it might be increases. So in that field, one student completed the PhD and she is faculty and she is presently do faculty in same department. And the next one is renewable energy. Renewable energy means what I did, the waste plastics, right? All the waste material we used to collect. From that we will burn that material and make it as a carbon and activate it. That become activated carbon. That it acts as an activated carbon, you might be knew that. It is a very good electrode material for any batteries and supercapacitor applications. So that work is going now, that student is going to complete now. So from waste, then carbon nanofiber. Based on the conditions, if you directly burn the material, waste material, it may become a carbon and activate it. But in the inert atmosphere, if you burn the waste material, the structure, it may be changes to the carbon nanofiber. Of course, carbon nanofiber, some special advantages is it has a different advantages that we are going to do. Next one is graphene, right? Graphene, this is how, this is interesting example. I used to tell one story I'm interested to tell. That fellow, I forgot the name of the scientist. What he did, no, pencil graphite is there, no. He peel off the layer of the pencil graphite continuously. In the end of the layer, what we get at the 5 meter thickness, that material it shows an excellent surface area and excellent properties. That is called as a graphene, right? Just peel off the layer, and he got a Nobel Prize for the graphene. Okay, of course, I put the name of the scientist later. I may not have time to go for that one. And next one is integrated device. Now you might be new that, okay, lithium ion batteries, we got to replace it 5 years. Instead of 5 years replace, because if you, how many of the people will go and about 10 lakh rals, that also after 5 years, we got to replace the lithium ion batteries. We won't do. Even I can't able to go and buy. Right? I have to buy some good, long time should come. At least another 18 years of service means another 15 years, 18 years if the car is comes, means it's well and good. Right? So some other technology, what we did, one side, so the same electrode material, one side we fabricated the, this side we fabricated the supercapacitor, this side we fabricated the solar cell, dye-sensitized solar cell or perovskite solar cell. So this is integrated, right? You see that this is a ITO plate is a common one side, but it acts as a capacitor, supercapacitor. One side it acts as a dye-sensitized solar cell. So whatever the solar cell, it's capturing the energy. Solar cell don't have ability to capture the energy with its. You have to connect to the battery one. Or on and off grid, you have to be continuously you have to use the power. So this supercapacitor continuously save the energy from the solar cell. That work is going, of course, students are doing now only. This is how you are going to do. Normally, titanium oxide doped with the dye. Our major role, what we are doing, we are thinking for organic based dyes, that is metal free organic sensitizer. The reason is ruthenium metals are high cost, right? We can't able to afford. So we are synthesizing a molecule like that. Donor pi acceptor. Electron donor also will be there. Electron acceptor also will be there. This it can be linked by pi breaches. That means it has a good ability to show sensitizers. So that work we are doing now. Next one is recent work. Okay, silicon solar cell. Now they are developing. Of course, strength of limitation is the silicon solar cell. If you see the Google it, you may get a perovskite solar cell. Strength of research is going on perovskite solar cell. Perovskite is nothing but the inorganic compound ABX3 formed resemble calcium titanium oxide structure. So that is called as a perovskite. So we are synthesizing perovskite materials and we are doing fabrications. These are the different types of perovskites. So here also we are trying to do integrated with perovskite and the supercapacitor. The same thing, titanium oxide, perovskite, carbon, you have to do and fabricate that. This later we can come to know that if you see that, now you may not be interested. And one more interesting one. What we are doing, after fabricating, in between, in this cell, we are applying the magnetic field. When you are applying the magnetic field, the efficiency of the electrode, but of course you got to use the magnet material in electrode. So the efficiency of the material, it has enhanced tremendously. This we have filed the patent. Of course, one work we are trying to commercialize here. And of course, one sensor work will take a unscreened strips, that is PET plates, no? That strips will continuously dip with the polyaniline, and that polyaniline it acts as a sensor. It acts as a sensor strips for dopamine ascorbic acid or uric acid. In urine, uric acid is there. It may find out. This I'll try to show one slide because it's sorry, one video. Please be see these videos. All are graduate students only. They are fabricating one solar cell. Okay. It is very interesting videos. Are you able to see the video? All are graduate students only.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Video we can see, sir, but not the audio.
Audio. Audio. I kept the full audio, madam. Now, are you able to listen to the video audio?
No, sir. No. It's okay. No problem. We can.
This is just a graduate students only, BSc graduate, undergraduate students only. They are going to update all the device. Just see that. Now, are you able to?
Since our test leads press down at the edges of the soles. We start by covering the conductive side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, are you able to listen the video? Audio?
Now it is gone.
Gone. Okay, fine. Now?
Next, we drop hydrochloric acid into substrate like reaction.
Now, are
Yes,
you
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
fine.
sir.
Powder to bubble.
Students, please watch. Only graduate student, they are going to fabricate the solar cell.
When the reaction is finished, we'll rinse the substrate with deionized water. When we take off the tape, you can see that FTO has been etched off these edges, so that now FTO is only in the middle and the outer edges are glass.
Hi, my name is Wendy Wu. I'm an undergrad in Ginger Lab at University of Washington at Department of Chemistry. Today, I'm going to show you how to spin coat TiO2 and anneal TiO2.
Next, we'll take this substrate and sonicate it in 1% micro 90 detergent, deionized water, acetone, and finally isopropyl alcohol sequentially for 20 minutes each to clean the FTO. After the sonicating wash cycles are finished, we'll take out the FTO substrates and blow them dry with a stream of dry nitrogen. Before we deposit the TiO2, we're going to plasma clean the FTO substrate. We plasma clean with pure oxygen at a flow rate of 100 milliliters per minute. The bright purple light is due to the ionization of oxygen gas and indicates that we are generating oxygen plasma. After 10 minutes of plasma cleaning, all residual organic substances are removed from the FTO surface. Now we're going to spin coat the TiO2 precursor solution. We drop 60 microliters of the precursor solution onto the substrate and spin coat at 3,500 RPM for 1 minute to form a thin film. After spin coating, we anneal the TiO2 sol gel film on a high temperature programmable hot plate.
See, these things, it's possible in our lab itself.
This is the program for annealing.
They have sophisticated instrument. Don't worry about it.
100 degrees C for 10 minutes, soak for 10 minutes. Ramp to 150 C for 5 minutes, soak for 10 minutes. Ramp to 325 C for 10 minutes, soak for 30 minutes. Ramp to 450 C for 5 minutes, soak for 5 minutes. Ramp to 500 C for 10 minutes, soak for 30 minutes. Cool for 3 hours. After the program is finished and the hot plate has cooled, we remove the substrate from the hot plate.
Hi, I'm Susanna Koch, and I'm a visiting student from Germany, and I will be presenting how we spin coat and anneal the perovskite layer of the perovskite solar cell.
We're going to be spin coating a precursor solution for the methyl ammonium lead triiodide perovskite. The precursor solution is a 3-to-1 molar mixture of methyl ammonium iodide and lead acetate trihydrate, dissolved in anhydrous dimethyl formamide to a concentration of 40 weight % solids. We spin coat the solution at 2000 RPM for 45 seconds. Now we let the precursor film dry in the glove box for 15 minutes. Then we anneal the film on a hot plate at 100 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes to fully form the perovskite. As the perovskite forms, the film will start to turn black. After 5 minutes of annealing, the perovskite is fully formed and we remove it from the hot plate.
Hi, I'm AJ Shropshire, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to spin coat the spiro-omitad layer.
Now we spin coat a solution of spiro-omitad on top of the perovskite layer at 4,000 RPM for 1 minute to form the spiro-omitad layer. After we spin coat the spiro, we then leave it in a desiccator overnight in air. This allows the spiro-omitad to oxidize, which will further peat-oak the spiro, making it more conductive for holes.
My name is Colin Summers. I'm an undergraduate researcher here under Professor David Ginger, and I'm going to show you today how to evaporate metal contacts onto perovskite devices.
We load the device into a shadow mask. This allows us to deposit a predefined pattern of metal electrodes on the top of the We then load gold pellets for the top contact into a tungsten evaporation boat. We secure the boat onto metal posts, which will pass current through the tungsten boat, heating the gold pellet through resistive heating. We then pump the evaporation chamber down to a pressure less than 10 to the -6 torr, which will allow the metal to vaporize under resistive heating. Now we deposit the gold contact at a deposition rate of 2 angstroms per second. We start by heating the metal at a slow evaporation rate to burn off impurities. Once we reach the desired rate for deposition, we begin depositing the gold by opening a shutter, which will allow metal vapor to condense on our substrate through the pattern in the mass. Once we reach the thickness that we want, the shutter closes and we ramp down the power. When the deposition is finished, we repressurize the evaporation chamber and remove our samples and the metal boat.
This is grow box to control the humidity of the entire room they are using. Of course, pelvoscatic, it's unstable for open atmosphere.
Out the evaporation mass, you can see that we deposit our contacts.
See, they prepared and fabricated.
And we're ready to silver paint the edges of the gold contacts and test the device.
Okay, we'll continue. Okay, this is, I'm not interested to continue because when you are registering the PhD, you contact me. That time I'll tell you how to search the topics and how to select the guides, those things. Now I'm not interested to continue those slides. Of course, I am interested to tell the opportunities of the higher studies after completing the PhD. This is for those things. I am not interested to come for that. Okay. Something else is missed. Let's see. Yeah, this is a scientist to find the graphene. Name of the scientist, Andre Gem and the Constantine Novarak. One second. Yeah, fine. I'll come to the final slide. Some interesting. What is the opportunities after completing the PhDs? Something somehow it's missed, and I'm preparing. And that's no problem. I'll summarize that. These all the publications. It's done by MSc student. Nearly in a year, from the MSc project, at least 1 or 2 papers we are taking. Okay. And a summary of that entire work. Of course, before coming to the summary, I would like to tell the opportunities for your higher studies. Once you completed the PhD, your visibilities might be very, very high. You can ask Saminathan sir. He has a good skilled persons when he worked in Arakappa University Industrial Chemistry. He has to manage the entire lab. He know almost all the instrument in Arakappa University Industrial Chemistry department, GC, HPLC, atomic absorption spectroscopy. In fact, one interesting things is good in AAS. In fact, him guide presented one gold ring for atomic absorption spectroscopy because he worked in say the Samuddra project. Continuously sample will come. You used to analyze atomic absorption spectroscopy, and he has did postdoc in US. That's why he got a marriage also. Because Alliance is doing a postdoc in US. That opportunities it has created and he got a good alliance also. And of course, higher studies, it will bring open visibilities in your eyes. After your higher studies, to seeing the society, it is different from that. Because you may get very good people to meet. Remember that I am not telling other people who are not good, right? You may get a good ideas about the societies. Okay, this is it will be there. Nothing can do. We can pass that on whatever things. We can continue that, right? You may get a good visibilities in your studies. Of course, after completing the PhD, again you can go for postdoc for 2 years in abroad, and you can meet a very good. You can collaborate with good scientists in abroad, and you can meet many people. There's all interesting things. And of course, after PhD, postdoc, again, he became an assistant professor in all the deemed universities or all the state universities. And he became a research associate, scientist, plenty of job opportunities is there. So final summary, effective education leading to behavior change. Remember that I put proper sentences. What I am given the first one, the final conclusion same. My abstract and conclusions always should same. It's not the different. Effective education leading to behavior change. Society will be like that only. We should survey properly. அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு விட்டு கொடுத்தது வாழ்க்கையில வரணும். துரியோதனை விட்டு கொடுத்திருந்தான்னா அவருக்கு ராஜ்யம் வந்திருக்கும், அவரோட வாழ்க்கை எல்லாமே நல்லா இருந்திருக்கும். இன்ஃபேக்ட் பட்டிமன்றத்துலதான் நிறைய பேசுவாங்க. கண்ணன் தர்மன் விட்டு கொடுத்ததுனாலதான் அந்த கௌரவ குரூப்பே ஒரு 14 years வார முடிஞ்சிச்சு அப்படின்னா அவர் சூதாடி விட்டு கொடுத்தார் அப்படின்னு தான் சொல்லுவாங்க. அப்ப எஃபெக்டிவ் எஜுகேஷன் லீடிங் டு பிஹேவியர் சேஞ்ச். அப்கோர்ஸ் விட்டு கொடுக்கறது அவ்வளவு ஈஸியா இல்லை, அதெல்லாம் வரணும், நீங்க படிக்கிறத பொறுத்து வரணும். அண்ட் ரிசர்ச் இஸ் கிரியேட்டிங் நியூ நாலேஜ். ஸோ லிட்ரேச்சரும் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட், ஹையர் ஸ்டடீஸும் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஸோ ட்ரை டு ரீட் மெனி புக்ஸ். இட் இஸ் நாட் ஒன்லி ரிலேட்டட் டு தி மேனஸ்கிரிப்ட் ஆர் சயின்டிபிக் பேஸ்ட். Wherever you are interested, you can try to read. Okay, so life is not a race, it is a journey. And thanks for your valuable observations and patience. So whatever I told, right, it's my suggestions, right? Sometimes I might be wrong, don't worry about it. I am asking apology to that, don't because what I feel that I told. So thanks for your valuable observation, and thanks for Jayanti madam and Saminathan to call and talk with the young students. Yeah, it's over to you, madam.
Silva,
Yeah.
are you audible?
I'm audible. Yeah.
Kalakita Silva, thank you.
Okay, fine.
Okay, Jayanti ma'am.
சார் சார் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்துச்சு, யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருந்திருக்கும் நான் நம்புறேன்.
ஓகே, ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் எது क्वेश्चन இருக்கா?
எங்க ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸா சொல்லணும் சார் ஃபர்தரா.
இல்ல ஒரே ஒரு நிமிஷம். ஆக்சுவலா அபௌட் திஸ் ப்ரோக்ராம் அவங்க ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிருந்தாங்க, அது ஸ்கிப் ஆயிருச்சு. இப்ப அவங்களுக்கு சான்ஸ் கொடுத்துடலாம். ஆக்சுவலா முன்னாடி ஒரு
யாருக்கு புரியல என்ன?
ஆக்சுவலா ப்ரோக்ராம் அபௌட் திஸ் ப்ரோக்ராம் ஒன்னு ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ண சொல்லிருந்தோம்.
ஓகே
ஜஸ்ட் அவங்க ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணி ரெடியா இருக்காங்க.
ஓகே
இப்ப யாரு பண்றீங்க, நந்தினியா இல்ல நர்மதாவா?
Sir, Narmata sir.
Okay, start பண்ணுங்க.
Sir, thank you sir. Career guidance is the guidance given to individuals to help them acquire the knowledge, information, skills and experience necessary to identify career option and narrow them down to make one career decision. This career decision then results in their social, financial and emotional well-being throughout.
Today, we feel so privileged on your presence. I hope you all may have gained lots of sources regarding chemistry. I assure that your guidance will help us shine in our future. Thanks for your valuable time, sir.
Okay, do you have any questions? Anyone?
No questions.
You can talk very casually, even no need to speak in English. You can talk in Tamil also, no problem.
அவர் தமிழ் நல்லா பேசுவாருப்பா, ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. பார்க்கத்தான் ஜப்பான்காரர் மாதிரி இருப்பாரு, ஆனா தமிழ் நல்லா பேசுவாரு. இங்க நம்ம ஊர் தான்.
இதுதான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு பிளாட்ஃபார்ம். நீங்க கொஸ்டின், ஏன்னா என்னை பார்க்காம ஒரு மீட்டிங்ல பேசுற, நீங்க உட்காந்து உங்க வீட்டுல இருந்து கேள்வி
சாட்ல கேளுங்க.
என்ன கேள்வி வேணாலும் கேட்கலாம், ஒன்னும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. என்ன கேள்வி கேட்டாதான் நீங்க நிறைய கத்துக்குவீங்க.
ஆக்சுவலா எப்பவுமே தேர்ட் இயர்ல வந்து ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராம் இல்லைன்னா 2 ப்ரோக்ராம் பண்ணிடுவோம் செல்வம். வந்து மேக்ஸிமம் ஆக்சுவலா ஃபைனல் செமஸ்டர்ல பண்ற ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. அவங்க எல்லாமே கோர்ஸ் முடிக்கணும், ப்ராக்டிக்கல் செமஸ்டர். அதனால வந்து நார்மலா ஆகஸ்ட் செப்டம்பர் இதுல நார்மலா வந்து அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு கைடன்ஸ் வந்து கொடுத்துறது. அந்த கைடன்ஸ் நான் வச்சு அவங்க ஒரு சான்ஸ் கிடைக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கலாம். எம்எஸ்சி ஆக்சுவலா எம்எஸ்சி இப்போ ஒரு பொண்ணு அழகப்பா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்கு. நம்ம பிஎஸ்சி இங்க முடிச்சுட்டு அழகப்பா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்கு. அப்புறம் பிஎஸ்சி ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸே இவங்க ப்ராஜெக்ட் பண்றாங்க. அவங்க ஒர்க் எல்லாமே கிராஃபின், பேட்டரிஸ் அசம்பிளிங் எல்லாம் கொண்டு வரல, கிராஃபின் மெட்டல் ஆக்சைட்ஸ். ஸோ முன்னாடி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 2017ல வரும்போது இருந்ததை விட இப்போ கொஞ்சம் ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ் எல்லாம் எக்யூப் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் இந்த கொரோனாவுக்கு அப்புறம் வந்தீங்கன்னா பார்க்கலாம் எப்படி இருக்கு.
ஓகே வெரி குட்.
ஓகே சரி.
Okay, no one interested
Lot of
to
thanks.
ask.
நீ கேக்குறியா? சரி ஓகே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணு. செல்வ proceed.
No one interested to ask questions.
இல்ல அவங்க கேட்பாங்க, எங்கிட்ட கேட்பாங்க, ரொம்ப அமைதியா வந்து கேட்பாங்க. நம்ம
Yeah,
வந்து
என்னை பார்த்தா என்ன ஏதோ
அப்படின்னு இல்ல, நம்ம பசங்க எல்லாருமே அப்படித்தான் இருக்காங்க, எல்லா பேட்சுமே. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து ஒரு நாள் 2 நாளுக்கு அப்புறம் சின்னதா ஒரு கொஸ்டின் கேட்பாங்க, ஏப்பா அதை அப்பவே கேட்டுக்கலாமல்ல அப்படின்னா அவங்களுக்கு இன்னும் வரல, அந்த தேர்ட் இயர் முடிக்க போறோம் அப்படிங்கிற எண்ணம் இன்னும் வரல.
நீங்க எவ்வளவுக்கு எவ்வளவு பேசுறீங்களோ அவ்வளவுக்கு எவ்வளவுதான் உங்களோட பிரசன்டேஷன் ஸ்கில், உங்களோட பர்சனாலிட்டி டெவலப்மெண்ட் இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகும். நான் ஆக்சுவலி அங்க வந்திருக்கிறப்பே நான் சொன்னேன், ஒரு இன்ஜினியரிங் படிச்ச ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் பாருங்க, அவனுக்கு தெரியலனாலும் அவன் கான்பிடென்டா இருப்பான். அவன் பாட்டுக்கு தப்பா இருந்தாலும் அது கரெக்டா வந்து சொல்லுவான். தப்புன்னு நமக்கு மட்டும்தான் தெரியும், வெளியில உள்ளவங்களுக்கு யாருக்குமே தெரியாது. தப்புங்கிறது ஃபேக்கல்ட்டிக்கு மட்டும்தான் தெரியும். அந்த கான்பிடென்ட்ட பிஎஸ்சி கெமிஸ்ட்ரி படிச்சு, அதுக்காக தான் நான் இவ்வளவு தூரம் கஷ்டப்பட்டு உங்களுக்கு பேசுறேன், எவ்வளவு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் இருக்கு, எவ்வளவு பண்றான்.
இல்ல அப்சர்வ் எல்லாம் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க, அவங்க அப்சர்வ் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க, அதுல எல்லாம் எந்த இது இல்ல. திரும்ப கேக்குறதுக்கு இன்னும் தெரியாது, ஏன்னா அதெல்லாம் அந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் அவங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிருக்கவே மாட்டாங்க.
ஓகே ஓகே ஓகே.
ஃபுல் கெமிஸ்ட்ரி இப்பதானே வருது, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் செகண்ட் இயர்ல வந்து நமக்கு அவங்களுக்கு ஃபுல்லா ஒரு பேப்பர் தான் வரும். இப்பதான் ஃபுல்லா பேப்பர் எடுப்பாங்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் அவங்க இனிமேல் தான் அந்த திங்கிங்கே வரும்.
Okay, all the best. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. I may either drop my mail ID, kenselva78@gmail.com. Okay, and my contact number also I'll give you. Any doubt, anything for your career guidelines and go for higher studies, you can contact anytime. If I know, I'll tell you. Otherwise, I'll ask some of my colleagues, and of course, Swaminathan also is there to guide you. Any things if you want to convey, you can send a mail or you can call me. I am ready to answer all the questions. Okay, thanks Jayanti madam and thanks Swaminathan for giving the opportunity.
What are thanks students ready இருக்காங்க, ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
Okay.
So what are thanks யாரு?
Sir Bhargavi sir.
Okay, proceed.
Saying thank you is more than good manner. The essence of all beautiful art is gratitude. I deem it a great honor to propose the vote of thanks to all who have helped us in making this seminar such a resounding success. I would like to propose hearty vote of thanks to our chief guest, Dr. M. SELVAKUMAR, Assistant Professor, Selection Grade, Department of Chemistry, MIT, Manipal University, Manipal, Karnataka. Thank you, sir, for your very interesting and provoking address, for encouraging us by positive thoughts in this situation. Definitely, everyone has the inspirational person who has made to choose the best career. We will remember our best teachers in our life. Thank you, sir, for helping us to know about the opportunities and about the graduation studies in the field of chemistry. And we will remember you as a best mentor in our lifelong, if not for all, at least for me. And thank you for our beloved respected secretary, Dr. C.A. Vathiki ma'am. Thank you to our multi-dynamic principal, Dr. M. Chinnaswamy sir. Thank you to our respected CEO, Dr. V. Chinnaswamy sir. Thank you to our respected Dean, R&D, Dr. Paulsamy sir. Thank you our respected Dean Academics, Dr. S.R. Madan sir. I would also like to thank our beloved HOD, Dr. V. Sangeeta ma'am, and other faculties of our department. Last but not least, I thank you, my friends, for your cooperation in making this program a resounding success. Finally, I leave you this inspiring quote by Martin Luther King. An individual has not started living until he rises above the confines of his individualistic concern to broader concerns of humanity. Once again, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Okay, Swami, we'll wind up.
Jayanti ma'am, wind up பண்ணிடலாம்.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the nice guidance, sir. Definitely, our students will remember you lifelong. If not all, at least few. Thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the coordination.
So you did all the job and you are thanking me.
No.
Thank you.
இல்ல உங்களுக்கு அது நீங்க கோஆர்டினேட் பண்ணிடுவீங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியும்.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
சரி, பசங்க எப்படி ஃபீல் பண்ணான்னு கேட்டு சொல்லுங்க மேடம்.
கண்டிப்பா
நான்
sir.
ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணி உங்களுக்கு அனுப்பிச்சிடுறேன்.
ஓகே சார், ஓகே சார், தேங்க்யூ சார், தேங்க்யூ.
இப்போ ஏதாவது டவுட் இருந்தா சூப்பரா, இந்த டீம் எல்லாமே நல்லா பண்ணிட்டீங்க. எதிர்பார்க்கவே இல்லை, எல்லாமே நல்லா பண்ணிட்டீங்க. இது அபிநயா சாங் இருக்கும்போது இருந்தேன் நான், அதுக்கப்புறம் அப்படியே கிளம்பிட்டேன். அப்புறம் இன்பிட்வீன் வந்து பாதியில் தான் வந்தேன். எனக்கு இந்த மீட்டிங் உங்களுக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் வந்துட்டாங்கடா, டே உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஜூனியர்ஸ் வந்துட்டாங்க, நீங்களாம் சூப்பர் சீனியர் ஆயிட்டீங்க. ஓகே, 34 or 35 மெம்பர்ஸ். ஓகே சரி, வேற 34 or 35 மெம்பர்ஸ் வந்துட்டாங்க. சரி பார்ப்போம், வேற டவுட் இருந்தால் எனக்கு கேளுங்க. திருப்பதி எனக்கு அட்டனன்ஸ் மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் வாட்ஸ்அப் அனுப்பிச்சிரு, நான்.
எஸ் சார்.
ஓகே, சூப்பரா பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? பரவாயில்ல, நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் உங்களுக்கு சான்ஸ் கொடுத்தது.
எஸ் சார், தேங்க்யூ சார்.
அதே மாதிரி நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் வந்து நான் கொஞ்சம் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணி நல்லா பண்ணிக்கங்க.
எஸ் சார்.
ஆமா, நீ இவங்க 2 பேரும் சேர்ந்து பண்ணது பரவாயில்ல. 2 பேர் கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா ஆளுக்கு கொஞ்சம் நேரம் பேசினாங்க அபவுட் த ப்ரோக்ராம். ஆக்சுவலாக அது அந்த இடத்துல மிஸ் ஆயிடுச்சு. இன்னொருத்தர் நான் கோஆர்டினேட்டர் ஒருத்தர் போட்டிருக்கலாம். மேபி நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம்ல இருந்து ஒரு கோஆர்டினேட்டர் ஒருத்தர் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். சரியா?
எஸ் சார். எஸ் சார்.
சரி, வேற எதுவும் டவுட் இருக்கா? நர்மதா, என்னாச்சு உங்களுக்கு? என்ன சான்ஸ் இருக்குமா இல்லைன்னு நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தியோ? நர்மதா தானே?
சார் அவ கொஞ்சம் வெளியே போயிட்டா சார், அவங்க வீட்ல கொரோனா டெஸ்ட் எடுக்க வந்திருக்காங்க, போயிட்டா சார்.
ஓகே, நோ ப்ராப்ளம் பா, நோ ப்ராப்ளம். ஓகே அபிநயா, வாய்ஸ் நல்லா இருந்தது. கீப் இட் அப். ஓகே, தேங்க் யூ பா, தேங்க் யூ
சார்.
தேங்க் யூ சார்.
என்னப்பா
நர்மதா கூப்பிட்டீங்க சார்.
ஓகே, ஆமா கூப்பிட்டேன், ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. நீங்க ஆளுக்கு பாதியா பண்ணா நல்லா தான் இருந்தது.
ஓகே சார்.
சரியா? எனக்கு தெரியல, ஒரு கோஆர்டினேட்டர் இருந்தா முன்னாடியே சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க.
ஆமா சார். சரி சார்.
ஓகே, பை. க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடலாமா? சதீஷ் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடலாமா? க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிடலாமா? ஓகே ஓகே, தேங்க் யூ, பை.
தேங்க் யூ சார்.
சதீஷ்,
சொல்லுப்பா.
ரெக்கார்ட் ஆகுது.
என்னது?
ரெக்கார்டிங்ல இருக்கு. பரவாயில்லையா?
சார் போயிட்டார்ல.
பட் ஆனா ரெக்கார்டிங்ல இருக்கு.
அது எடுத்துட்டு சார் வெளியே அதை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிட்டாலும் க்ளோஸ் ஆயிடும்.
சரி, நான் நார்மல் கால் பண்றேமா?
ஓகே.